My beloved child, have you ever asked yourself why there are days when your heart feels as though it is drifting like a boat with no one at the helm, lost in the vast fog of life, no longer knowing who is steering your destiny? At times, you think you are the one making the choices. Yet, in truth, your soul has quietly handed the key to the darkness, the shadow that speaks with sweetness, but secretly drains your faith dry. My child, today I come not to frighten you, but to remind you what is truly terrifying is not the darkness out there, but the moment you unknowingly let it take shelter within your own heart. I tell you, blessing is not a gift to display, but a test meant to grow you. For God does not only rescue you from storms outside, He also teaches you to escape the storm within, where fear, comparison, wounds, and the noise of the world keep twisting the wheel of faith day and night. When you unconsciously let your soul drift toward the shadows, you do not lose the light all at once. Instead, little by little, you stop longing to return to the source of light. And that is the greatest danger when the heart grows cold, and you do not even realize it. My child, remember this: God heals not only so you will stop hurting, but so you will stop being afraid. For there are wounds that may close in the body, yet the soul still bleeds whenever the winds of life pass through. Some carry a wound for 10 years and still do not dare to truly smile, because they no longer believe they deserve happiness. But I tell you the truth, I do not heal you merely so you can stand again, but so you can keep walking without trembling. For as long as you remain afraid, you are still a prisoner of your old pain. And when you let fear become your compass, the darkness needs only the smallest crack to slip in and take over the whole room of your soul. I want you to understand that miracles are not always dazzling. Sometimes, a miracle is simply a morning when you dare to open your eyes, breathe, and believe that today, God is still holding your hand. The peace I give you does not come from everything being calm, but from knowing who is with you in the storm. So do not seek peace in escape, seek peace in trust. When you cling to fear, you are handing your key to the darkness, but when you dare to release fear, you return the helm to me, the one who has always known where you need to go. My dear child, it is not by chance that I allow you seasons of abundance and seasons of lack. Every financial cycle, every gain and loss, is a quiet lesson in stewardship and freedom. For material blessing I give you is never the destination, it is only a tool, so you may learn to keep your heart steady while your hands hold wealth. Many think I favor them because I give them much, but in truth, I am testing whether they are wise enough not to let money take the wheel. In lack, the darkness whispers, "You are not good enough, not worthy of love." And in abundance, it murmurs again, "You are above others, you deserve praise." Both voices are nets. If you are not watchful, true freedom is not found in how much money you hold, but in refusing to let it define your worth. I want you to know no one is bound because they are poor, but because they allow the fear of poverty to rule them. And no one is ruined by wealth if they know how to place that blessing in my hands, using it as a river that flows, not as a throne to sit upon. When you are grateful in lack, when you are humble in plenty, that is when darkness loses its claim over your life. For the one who relies on me, even if they lose everything, does not lose themselves. And the one who has everything yet still bows in thanksgiving has conquered the deepest temptation, the temptation to believe they no longer need God. My child, do not let the scratches of life become the identity of your soul. Some pass through wounds and think, "I am ruined." But in my eyes, you remain whole, because I do not see you through your failures, but through the love I planted in you from the beginning. When you reject yourself, You are believing the darkness, not the voice of the Creator. The world is loud. The deceitful speak cleverly, and sometimes the truth sounds small. But I tell you, choose which voice you will listen to. For what you listen to shapes what you believe, and what you believe guides what you do. When you listen to bitterness, you become its instrument. When you listen to forgiveness, you become a vessel of peace. That is how you keep your soul from being pulled off course. If you want to leave the darkness, begin by guarding stillness within. For only in stillness can you hear my voice, a voice not noisy, not forceful, but gentle as a soft breeze across the water. Let me remind you, no matter how loud the world becomes, the one who keeps a pure heart can still hear the guidance of heaven. My child, there are wounds in life that do not bleed, yet they still exhaust the soul. People see you smile and think you are fine, but only I know how you tremble at night in nameless fear. Some pains no longer exist as images, yet they smolder like fire beneath ashes. You try to forget, but the more you forget, the more you remember. You want to move forward, yet every step you take, you hear the faint clinking of fear's chains inside. I tell you the truth, this is no longer pain, it is fear. And it is fear that becomes the cord keeping you from returning to yourself. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control. 2 Timothy 1-7. Do you see? I did not create you to tremble through this life. I did not place you on earth so you would live in anxiety, defense, and suspicion. I gave you a steadfast spirit, courageous, full of love, because only when you stand in my love are you truly free. Fear is a clever darkness. It does not come to destroy you at once, but to persuade you that you are not enough, that you are unworthy, that you cannot overcome. When you believe those lies, you have handed it the key to your soul. And in that moment, you begin to drift far from me. I know you once prayed, Lord, please heal me. And I did, but I did not only remove your pain, I also want to remove your fear. For if you are still afraid, you have not truly been healed. Some recover from illness, yet fear it will return. Some are forgiven, yet fear being judged. Some are loved, yet fear abandonment. The body may be rescued, but the soul is still in chains. My child, I do not want you merely to survive after being hurt. I want you to live free, live steady, live in peace. Some, after a crisis, bolt their hearts shut, thinking that is safety. But my child, when you close your heart to avoid being wounded, you also close off your ability to be loved. The darkness does not need to attack. It only needs you to imprison yourself in fear. And it has already won. Fear is subtle. It wears the mask of reason and the cloak of caution. It tells you, trust no one anymore. Hope no more. Open your heart no more, as if it is protecting you. But my child, do not let the darkness disguise itself as the guardian of your heart. I am the one who truly protects you. When you trust me, you no longer need to build walls. For my light itself is a fortress that cannot be breached. Do you remember when Peter walked on the water while his eyes were on me? He could walk above the waves, but when he looked down at the storm, he began to sink. Fear does not come from the wind, but from forgetting who is calling you to step forward. So it is in the days your life feels unsteady. I do not promise to still the sea, but I promise to be with you in the middle of it. For what you need is not a life without waves, but a faith that does not tremble. Some souls ask to be healed, yet they fear change. They want me to remove the pain, but they do not want to release what caused it. My child, I cannot heal what you still cling to. For true healing is not magic, it is the surrender of the soul, surrender to the light. to love, to truth. When you allow me to touch the deepest corner of your heart, the place you once hid, the place you feared to face, then the light begins to seep in. God does not heal by erasing memory. He heals by turning that memory into a witness. What once hurt you will one day become a lesson that helps others stand again. You will speak of it, not to boast of your strength, but to testify that the grace of God was strong in you. And that is the moment darkness loses its power, when you dare to use what once made you weak to glorify the one who saved you. My child, fear cannot be driven out by reason. It can only be dissolved by love. For perfect love casts out fear. As the word has spoken, perfect love casts out fear. Because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. 1 John 4:18. Do you see? The more you love, the less you fear. The closer you draw to me, the more you find yourself covered in peace. For when the soul is filled with love, there is no empty space left for darkness to slip in. The love I give is not a passing feeling, but a power that lets you look at pain with different eyes, the eyes of one who knows they are loved without condition. At times I let the miracle come slowly, not because I have forgotten your prayer, but because I am teaching you not to fear in the waiting. When faith matures, you no longer need to see the outcome immediately. You only need to know that I am at work quietly, yet surely. When you are patient, you are learning the language of heaven. When you are grateful in trial, you defeat fear without even having to fight. I see every tear you hide, every sigh no one hears. Every night you stay awake praying and then fall asleep in weariness. You think I am silent, but truly I am holding you as a potter holds a lump of clay, shaping it with patient hands. Healing is never instantaneous. It is a journey. And every second you still believe is another second the darkness is pushed back, one step farther away. Do not be afraid when you feel weak, for it is in weakness that my power is made complete. The moment you dare to admit, I can't, is the moment I whisper, I can. You do not need to strain to appear strong. Only allow me to be strength within you. You do not need to force yourself to look at peace. Only let my peace cover you. For when you let go, only then can I act. My child, do not run from fear. Face it with me. When you hold my hand and look at fear, you will see it shrink, weaken, and dissolve like morning mist beneath the sun. But if you look at it alone, it will grow, thickening until it blocks the light. Fear only wins when you forget that you are not alone. I long for you to be free from the chains of fear. For a soul that knows it is loved no longer trembles before anything. The one who is truly healed can stand in the storm and still remain at peace, can be betrayed and still love, can lose everything and still give thanks. That is not human strength. That is the strength of grace. And grace flows only when you stop resisting. Stop doubting. Stop being afraid. My child, do not let the darkness convince you that it is stronger than the light. For with only one ray of light, even the longest night must bow. Each time you pray while afraid, you are lighting a lamp. Each time you dare to forgive, you ignite another spark. And then, one day, you will realize the room of your heart has become full of light, with no place left for fear to hide. Today, I do not come only to wipe your tears, but to remind you, you were not born to live in fear. You were born to walk in the light, to trust the one who calls you by your very name. I have healed you not merely so you would stop hurting, but so you would know you have nothing left to fear. For once, you know that I am there. No matter how deep the night may be, you will still know that dawn is coming. Beloved child, there is another kind of darkness, just as subtle as fear, when you allow material things to define the worth of your soul. I know you live in a world where everything has a price, yet few things have true value. People measure success by numbers, reputation by the gaze of others, and faith by the level of comfort they can secure. But, my child, if material blessing becomes the only standard by which you feel loved, then the moment it slips away, you will collapse. That is why I do not give wealth to everyone in the same measure, not because I show favoritism, but because each soul needs a different measure of testing to learn the lessons of stewardship and freedom. To some, I give abundance, so they learn not to let money rule their heart. To others, I allow lack, so they learn trust and understand that apart from me, they can do nothing. Everything I give or take has a reason. Because material blessing is not a reward, it is a responsibility. A good steward is not the one who merely knows how to keep what is theirs, but the one who knows how to make what is theirs a tool that serves what is good. When you use blessing rightly, it becomes a flowing stream that refreshes other souls. But when you clutch it tightly, that stream stagnates and turns into worry. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:21. I do not forbid you to seek sufficiency, for I am the giver of every good thing. But I warn you, do not let your heart dwell in what can be lost. Wealth does not make you sinful, but dependence on it weakens your soul. I have seen people pray to become rich, and when they receive it, they forget me. And I have seen those who are poor, yet in their lack they find the light, because when they have nothing left to cling to, they learn there is only me to trust. Remember, material blessing is like an oil lamp. It can illuminate, and it can also burn down everything, depending on how you use it. If you treat it as light to guide your path, that you will walk in peace. But if you use it to admire yourself, that light will blind you, and you will forget to turn toward the true source of light, me. The world may be clever in calculation, yet poor in faith. I want you to be different, wise in stewardship, yet free in your soul. My child, do not think poverty is a curse and wealth is proof of being favored. They are simply two different lessons in the same classroom, the classroom called trust. When you have little, you learn to share. When you have much, you learn humility. Only when you look at possessions through my eyes will you no longer be bound by them. True freedom is not the absence of lack, but this, whether you have or do not have, your heart remains at peace. Darkness always lurks near souls that treat money as a lifebuoy. It whispers, if you lose everything, you are nothing. And many souls have believed that lie, trading away even their dignity just to hold on to a fragile, false safety. But, my child, true security does not come from how much you have, but from knowing who provides for you. When you know that everything you have comes from me, you will not grow proud in abundance, and you will not despair in lack. I have seen many people ask for blessings, but few ask for the wisdom to steward those blessings. Like a child holding a knife without knowing how to use it, wealth without the light of faith can become a blade that cuts the soul itself. Therefore, I teach you the first lesson of the chosen. Give thanks before you demand. Learn stewardship before you possess. Do not seek to tighten your grip. Seek instead to let the river of blessing flow through your hands, so that others may also be strengthened. Beloved child, I know you have grown weary seeing the dishonest prosper while you struggle in faithfulness. But I tell you, do not compare. There are treasures the naked eye cannot see. Some appear to possess the whole world, yet lose their soul. Others seem to have nothing, yet hold the kingdom of heaven. True blessing is not in your pocket, but in the peace that comes when you place everything in my hands. When you live with gratitude, even the smallest thing becomes a blessing. And when you are given much, remember, much is not for display, but for service. When you open your heart to share, you never truly lose. You are sowing into eternal ground. Blessing only carries meaning when it is shared. Just as light exists by being poured out, do not let money become your master. Let it be a faithful servant to what is good. The more you give, the freer you become. For wealth in the hands of one who loves becomes an instrument of salvation. In the hands of the selfish, it becomes the chains of the soul. My child, when you place me above everything, I will teach you to see wealth in the light of eternity. Then you will understand, blessing is not a quantity, but an attitude, not merely what you have, but how you live with what you have been given. I want you to grasp this. It is not blessing that produces faith. Faith produces blessing. When you trust, you will know how to use what you receive when you know how to use it. I will entrust you with more, but when you treat blessing as the ultimate goal, I will remove it. So you remember that the one who blesses is the true source of life. Live freely, my child, free from temptation, free from fear of lack, free from pride in having enough. Let everything you have become thanksgiving, not only in words, but in acts of love. For when you live this way, you bear witness that nothing in this world can rule a soul created in the image of God. You will see, it is not you who owns the blessing. Rather, that blessing is being used by the Lord to complete His work within you. Beloved child, I know there are nights when you sit in silence, touching old scars that feel as though they still bleed. There are memories you thought you had buried deep. Yet a single word, a single look, can shatter your heart as it did at the beginning. You ask, Lord, why am I still not free from the past? Why do I still feel so small, so guilty, so unworthy? But my child, I tell you this, your identity is not found in the scratches life has left on you. Who you are is not defined by what you have endured, but by the one who saved you through those very things. I do not see you through your stains. I see you through the blood my Son poured out for you. When the world labels you by failure, sin, or trauma, I call you by name, the name I wrote from the foundation of the world. You are my workmanship, not a copy of your mistakes. Scars only prove that you once fell. Faith proves that you rose again. People may say you are not good enough, but I say, you are my beloved child. With you I am well pleased. Matthew 3:17. That word was not spoken only over Jesus at his baptism. It is also spoken over every soul that dares to return and allow me to cleanse it with love. My child, wounds do not make you worse. They only make you more real. For souls that have been broken, learn how to bow down, how to love with compassion, how to weep with the hurting without passing judgment. The cracks within you are the very places where my light shines through. If you had never known pain, you would never know the goodness of being healed. If you had never lost, you would not cherish the grace of being found again. Darkness was allowed to touch you, but only so that the light might be proven stronger. The world will always repeat your past, because that is all it can see. But I am not focused on what is behind you. I am focused on the person you are becoming. My child, do not live as a sinner merely forgiven. Live as one chosen to shine. When you keep your head bowed under old mistakes, you lose the present I have given you. The enemy loves to drag you back into the past to bind you. I call you forward into freedom. Each time you choose to believe my word more than the accusing voice within, you weaken the power of darkness. Some people look at your life and see only the times you failed, but I look and see every time you rose again by faith. You do not need to prove your worth through achievements. because your worth has already been sealed by love on the cross. When I was hung upon the wood, I did not only carry sin, I also carried your shame, your feelings of inadequacy, and even that voice within you that once said, "I am not worthy." Do you know this? From that moment, you were reborn, even if you did not yet realize it. My child, do not let the world force you to wear a mask simply because it is afraid to see wounds. I want you to dare to live truthfully, even with flaws, even in exhaustion, even on days of weakness, for only in truth can grace find a place to dwell. I do not seek perfect souls, I seek honest souls. When you dare to say, "Lord, I am tired, I am weak, I am not enough," that is when I come closest, for faith is not proven by perfection, but by humility. My child, I see every crack within your soul, and I am not repulsed. On the contrary, I use them to carve the story of love. Like a potter, I do not discard broken pieces, but mend them with gold, so that every fracture becomes a mark of glory. Others look at you and see a patched vessel. I look and see a masterpiece bearing the light of salvation. Therefore, do not hide your past. Let me turn it into a testimony. You may have stumbled, been betrayed. I've been looked down upon, but these very things make your story come alive in my hands. There are souls who cling so tightly to who I used to be that they forget I am loved right now. Do not be that way. Believe that I love you not because you have never fallen, but because you keep choosing to return. Faith is not measured by how many times you avoid mistakes, but by how many times you come back to me after each fall. When you let my love define you, you will see that old pain was only the opening chapter of a miracle. Beloved child, do not forget that everything that once wounded you can become an instrument of God. The wounds that once made you weak now help you understand. The tears that once embarrassed you now teach you compassion. The failures that once bowed your head now teach you to bend down and lift others up. That is true conversion, when darkness is no longer hated, but transformed into light. I do not promise you that I will erase every trace of the past. I will leave a few scars behind, as a reminder that you have been touched by me, for those marks are what form the story of grace. When you dare to speak of what I have done in your life, many souls will be raised up. They will see that if I could save you, then surely I can save them as well. And that is how you become a witness, not by words alone, but by a life that has been transformed. My child, you are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the fruit of a love that has conquered death. The world may forget your name, but in heaven your name is engraved by the blood of the Redeemer. Hold your head high, not in pride, but in the certainty of whom you belong to. When you live with that awareness, no past can bind you, and no accusation can make you tremble. I want you to walk as one who has been forgiven, not with heavy steps weighed down by shame, but with the light steps of one who has been loved. For when you truly believe in that love, you will stop striving to be good enough and begin living truly good. You will no longer ask, "Am I worthy?" but instead, "Lord, what can I do to respond to this love?" And there, my child, is when you begin to live in your true identity, a child who is loved, forgiven, and sent out to keep loving. My child, have you ever felt as though your heart were standing in the middle of a noisy square where thousands of voices jostle and each one claims to be the truth? The world today is not lacking in people who speak of righteousness, yet it is short on those who keep their hearts pure. Each day you are surrounded by praise and blame, mockery, comparison, and even sweet words that are hollow. Each sound, each sentence, like fine dust. slowly settles over your soul until you can no longer hear my voice clearly. I am not silent, but your heart has become too loud to listen. That is why I come to remind you of something simple yet powerful when noise closes in. Watchfulness is how you keep the soul from being pulled off course. The world loves loud echoes, but I speak in a whisper. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Do you see? To know me, you must be still. Yet the stillness I speak of is not merely outward silence, but an inner quiet where you release the habit of reacting. Stop trying to prove yourself and begin simply to listen. In that quiet, you will recognize that my voice is unlike every other voice. It does not pressure you. It does not frighten you. It brings you peace, calls you home, and lets you feel loved. But, my child, darkness does not want you to be still, because it knows that in silence you will hear the truth. So it creates noise not only out there, but within you. It keeps you so busy you have no time to pray. So weary, you would rather open a screen than open Scripture. So absorbed in other people's stories that you forget to listen to your own soul. It is subtle enough to make you believe that noise is being alive, when in fact, it is how it draws you away from true life. Do you know that when you let the world govern your emotions, you are handing the reins of your soul to others? One compliment can lift you up. One criticism can crush you. One headline can unsettle you. One glance can make you doubt yourself. Such a heart becomes a heart steered by the winds of the world, no longer standing firm upon the foundation of faith. I want you to be watchful, not so you live in fear, but so you can discern what comes from me and what is only the world's echo. My child, there are people whose words are sweet, yet whose souls are deceitful. They say, I love you, but in their hearts they seek to control you. There are also teachings spoken in the name of faith that lead you into pride, jealousy, and division. I am not telling you to distrust everyone, but I want you to have eyes of the Spirit, eyes that can see the truth behind appearances. For the enemy of your soul rarely arrives in a frightening form. It often disguises itself as light, speaks what is pleasant, and convinces you that you are still on the right path. My child, watchfulness is when you do not allow emotion to decide in place of faith. When you are slandered, you choose silence instead of resentment. When you are wounded, you choose prayer instead of retaliation. When you are being drawn in, you stop and ask, Lord, does this come from you? In that moment, you are taking back the rule of your soul from the world. You do not need to react to every sound. You only need to answer the true call. At times, your silence may be misunderstood, but do not be afraid, for you are silent not because you are weak, but because you know the one who defends you, just as Jesus, when falsely accused, did not argue, because he knew truth would speak for itself. Remember, the closer a person is to God, the less they feel the need to justify themselves. Watchfulness is not fighting everyone, but standing steady among all voices, so your heart is not carried away by the wind. The world today is not lacking in clever people, but it is rare to find the gentle. Everyone wants to speak, but few want to listen. Everyone wants to persuade, but few are willing to understand. I do not need you to become a loud voice. I need you to become a true voice, the voice of one who has learned to listen to me before speaking to the world. And to receive that voice, you must train your heart to pause, to observe, to pray in the midst of noise. Practice sitting still, just to hear your own heartbeat and quietly whisper, the Lord is here. When you learn to live in my presence, you will no longer be shaken by other sounds. A person who listens to the voice of God will not be enchanted by the words of the world, For when the soul is filled with peace, it no longer hungers for approval. And when you must face false accusations, do not answer with bitterness. Let me vindicate you. When you are misunderstood, do not try to correct every gaze. Correct your own heart so it does not become hardened. When you are betrayed, do not close the door of your heart, because I need you to still have enough love to forgive. That is watchfulness, not allowing evil to be reborn within you, even when it has attacked you. My child, I know that in this world, keeping a watchful heart is difficult. But remember, the guard who does not fall asleep is the one who protects the house. So too, the one who stays watchful in faith will not let the subtle thief, darkness, steal their peace. Each morning you pray. Each night you give thanks. That is when you are building a fence of light around your soul. Each time you choose forgiveness, you are locking the door that darkness tries to open. Each time you choose silence instead of anger, you are shutting the mouth of the accuser in the invisible realm. My child, I know the world will remain noisy, but you do not need to silence everything. You only need to keep your heart quiet enough to hear my voice. Or if you can hear just one word from me, every other word becomes small. When you live watchfully, you will not be pulled off course by noise, but will become a light within it. Light does not need to shout in order to be present. It simply exists. So it will be with you. Remain in the light, and you will illumine even the places that have gone astray. My child, I know your heart has been heavy. There were days when you could no longer find any joy. Everything around you seemed wrapped in a gray mist, so that you no longer recognized who you once were or what you once believed in. You begged me to take your sorrow away, but it seemed as if I was silent. In truth, I was never silent. I was teaching you something deeper: gratitude, prayer, and patience. These are the three keys that open the door of joy again. Rejoice always. Pray without ceasing. Give thanks in all circumstances. For this is the will of God for you in Christ Jesus. 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18. Do you see? My child, true joy does not lie in having everything go well, but in being able to keep a grateful heart even while things are not yet good. Gratitude is when you can still see grace in the midst of loss. Prayer is when you still speak to me even when you do not receive the answer you want. And patience is when you still believe, even though you see nothing happening yet. These three are how the soul relearns to breathe in the light. Gratitude is the first seed of peace. When you are grateful, you look back and see that I have never left you. Every meal, every person beside you, every time you are allowed to wake up, all of that is gift. There are times you have grown so used to miracles that you no longer recognize them as miracles. You think you live by your own strength, yet it is I who uphold every heartbeat and every breath. My child, the one who gives thanks is the one who understands. Anything can be lost unless you place it in my hands. I want you to learn to give thanks, even with tears in your eyes. Because when you are grateful in the night, you are proclaiming that the light still exists, though it is hidden for a while. Thanksgiving does not make trials disappear, but it makes your heart stronger than the darkness. And a grateful soul is the soul the evil one fears most, because he cannot drive it to despair. When you say, Lord, I thank you even for what I do not understand, that is when you step into the deepest level of faith, where faith no longer demands proof. After gratitude comes prayer. Prayer is not so that I will change everything, but so that you yourself may be changed first. When you pray, you open the door for me to enter, to straighten what has been broken, to soothe the tired places you have hidden away. You tend to think that prayer is speaking, but in truth, prayer is also listening to me tell you, I am still here, listening as I remind you. In time, all will be well. Listening as I whisper, do not be afraid. You are not alone. And my child, once you truly hear those three things, any sorrow will begin to soften. I do not need long, elaborate prayers. I need a sincere heart. When you are weak, say, Lord, I am tired. When you are anxious, say, I don't know what to do. When you are joyful, say, thank you for giving me this day. It is in the simplicity of your prayer that my presence is most powerful. Do not think you must be holy before you may ask. It is precisely when you are still clumsy, still full of wounds, that I long to hear your voice more than ever. And, my child, after gratitude and prayer, you need to learn one more precious thing: patience. There are miracles that do not happen in a flash, but unfold quietly, day by day. There are showers of blessing that do not pour down all at once, but fall like dew, slowly soaking into dry ground. Patience is when you do not give up, even though your heart is restless. When you keep sowing seeds, even though you see no sprouts. What I have promised never disappears. It is only that the time has not yet come. And in the waiting, I am shaping you into someone who can actually carry the blessing when it arrives. My child, do not confuse slow with never. I always arrive on my own time, and my time is never wrong. When you are patient, you are not just waiting for what you want. You are learning to love what you already have. For sometimes, it is the very journey of waiting that matures the soul more than the final outcome. Patience teaches you to let go, teaches you to trust, teaches you to see that I am trustworthy even when everything is silent. And then, when gratitude, prayer, and patience blend together, you will realize joy has never been far away. It does not lie in success, nor in comfort, but in knowing you are loved even when you have nothing in your hands. When you sit down, look back over your life and say, no matter what, God is still good. That is the moment heaven has already touched your heart. Practice writing down the things that trouble you, and then lay them at the foot of the cross. Do not keep everything locked inside, because the more the soul clings to its burdens, the more exhausted it becomes. Hand over to me each weight, each tear, each question that has no answer. As you surrender them, you will feel your heart grow lighter, and into that empty space, I will pour a different kind of joy, not noisy, not blazing, but warm and steady, like the breath of a new life. My joy is not merely laughter, but peace even while you are weeping. It is the sense of safety when you have nothing left to hold on to, yet you still trust that there is a hand that will never let you go. When you pass through pain without becoming bitter, that is joy. When you are misunderstood yet still choose to love, that is joy. When you see someone else blessed more than you, and you can still smile, that is joy. And when you look back and realize that it was the darkness itself that led you back to the light, that is the deepest joy of all, the joy of one who knows they have been saved. My child, if one day life feels heavy again, do not go searching for joy in the world. Come back, kneel down, and breathe out words of thanksgiving. Sigh, Lord, I know you are at work even when I cannot see it. Then be still, pray, and wait, for in that very waiting, I am weaving a wonder. When you give thanks in suffering, pray in silence, and remain patient in doubt, you are singing the song of faith, the song that heaven is always listening to. My child, I have seen you walk through storms. Now I want you to know that the storm did not come to destroy you. but to teach you to be grateful when calm returns. I want you to understand that the waiting was never meaningless, for in every tear, every sleepless night, every awkward prayer, I was reshaping your heart into a place that can hold true peace. And when you realize this, you will see joy was never gone. It was simply waiting for you to learn how to open the door and welcome it back. My beloved child, remember this. Be grateful to keep your heart light. Pray to keep your heart clear. And be patient to keep your heart steadfast. When these three live together within you, no darkness can make you fall. For then you are not merely surviving, you are living in me and wherever I am. There is always joy. My beloved child, have you ever paused in the midst of life's storms and realized that, among all the changes, only one thing has never left you, my love? That love is nothing like the fragile feelings the world tries to sell. It needs no proof, demands no payment, and is not afraid of rejection. It exists like breath, like light, like an underground stream of life that you cannot see, yet is always there. My child, from the moment your soul drew its first breath, I was there. Not for a single instant have I taken my eyes off you. Even when you wandered into darkness, even when you rejected yourself, I have kept on loving, kept on waiting, kept my arms open, not because you are perfect, but simply because you are mine. Do you know that in every moment you doubt yourself, I still look at you with a gaze full of boundless pride? When the world points fingers at your faults, I see instead the small, hidden efforts you have offered. When you fail, I do not fix my eyes on the fall, but on the courage that helps you rise again. I do not count how many times you have stumbled. I count how many times you have come back to seek me. You are the treasure for which I paid the price of my own son's life. And nothing in this world can ever make me give you up. My love does not spring from passing emotion. It has been sealed in blood and engraved in an eternal promise that will never be broken. My child, my love is not limited by space or time. You could go to the ends of the earth, hide in the deepest darkness, or withdraw into utter loneliness, and still I would be there. No border can block my grace. No wall can shut out my light. Even when you close your heart, I keep knocking, not because I need you, but because I know you cannot truly live without me. When you are lonely, I am in the sigh of the wind. When you are in despair, I am in the tear that falls where no one sees. Every beat of your heart is my way of reminding you I am still here, still loving, still waiting. Do not fear that my love will fade with the years. It is not like the quickly dying fire of human affection, but like the sun still burning even when clouds hide it. When you are glad, I smile with you. When you cry, I keep quiet with you. And even when you go far away, I walk behind you, not to judge you, but so that if you fall, my hand will be there as the place where you can lay your head. You do not need to do anything to deserve this love, because I chose to love you long before you knew how to love me. My love is not a reward for the good. It is the rope that draws the lost one home. My child, I know there are people who slander you, who speak falsely about you, who blame you for things you did not do. But do not let it trouble your heart. Every false accusation does not make you smaller. It only exposes the narrowness of those who speak it. Do not answer with anger, and do not sink into sadness. For when you hold on to peace, you are giving glory to me. Let me do my part. I will defend you with the truth, not with arguments. Trust that nothing is hidden from my eyes. Lies will eventually crumble like ashes, and only your light will remain. I did not call you to prove yourself. I called you to bear witness to love. My child, in my eyes you are never a mistake. never a failure. No matter how many times you stumble, I still see in you the first spark I breathed into your soul at the moment of creation. I am not ashamed of you, and I will never turn my back on you. My love does not depend on your actions. It rests on an eternal covenant, a covenant of mercy and sacrifice. When I was wounded, it was so that you could be healed. When I was nailed to the cross, it was so that you could be free. When I kept silent under humiliation, it was so that you could lift your head without shame. Sometimes you ask me, Lord, why must I endure so much hurt, my child? I do not want you to suffer, but I know that only through pain do you learn how to love for real. In the midst of trials, you will recognize what true love is, love that does not disappear when everything falls apart. I do not send suffering to torment you, but to purify your soul, so you can discern what is my calling and what is the whisper of darkness. When you experience loss, you learn that what is most precious cannot be taken away. I want you to live fully, not by success, but by peace. Do not seek joy in the eyes of the world. Seek it in my eyes, where you are always enough. Smile even when others misunderstand you. Keep walking even when they turn their backs. Love even when you are wounded. For when you love, you reflect me. Your life was not built to flee from darkness, but to shine within it. Do not forget, even the smallest light is enough to push back a long night. My child, pay no mind to those who choose darkness over light. They may speak bitterly. They may try to pull you down, but do not answer in return, for you belong to the light. And light does not compete with darkness, it only needs to be present. When you respond with love, you make me living and visible in this world. Forgive them, for they do not yet know what they are losing. They think they are hurting you, but in truth, they are wounding their own souls. Do not seek revenge, for my justice is more subtle than human judgment. I will set all things right in due time, and when I act, you will see everything brought back into balance. Let your heart overflow with compassion, for that is the sacred inheritance of one who is loved. Do not let resentment replace grace. Resentment weighs your heart down, but forgiveness helps you rise. Forgiveness is not to excuse another's wrong, but to free you from invisible chains. My child, you do not need to win by arguments. You only need to win by peace. The one who keeps peace is the greatest victor. I look at you, and I see fear still lingering in your heart. Fear of losing, fear of being wrong, fear of being forgotten. But trust me, my love does not change. When you fall, I do not abandon you. When you stray, I do not scold you. When you grow weary, I am not indifferent. I draw near, take your hand, and lead you through. You may forget me, but I will never forget you. Your name is engraved forever on my hands. No power, no sin, no abyss can separate you from my love. Live with joy, not because life is easy, but because you know I am with you. Let every breath be thanksgiving. Every day, a new song. Live to love and be loved, to forgive and be forgiven. Use your smile to defeat the darkness, and your kindness to prove that my love is still alive within you. Do not only speak about me, let your life become the testimony that I am real. When others look at you and see peace within you, they will recognize me there. So, my child, rise up, brush off the dust, and keep going. Do not let the world's words hold back your steps. Do not let painful memories imprison your present. I do not rewrite your past, but I am writing forward your future with a handful of love. Walk in the light, live with a grateful heart, and let each day become a hymn of redemption. When you live in love, you fulfill the greatest thing I desire, For what is most beautiful in my eyes is not the great works you do, but a humble heart that still knows how to love, to believe, to rejoice even after it has been shattered. Beloved child, believe that I am still holding you within my everlasting embrace. Every storm will pass, only my love remains. Do not be afraid. Do not doubt. Do not be shaken. I am here, and I will always be here, to love you, to keep you, and to lead you back to where you truly belong. Let your soul rest in that truth, for it is the greatest joy to know you are loved, not because you deserve it, but because I have never stopped loving you. Beloved child, do not let your heart grow heavy when the sky turns bleak or when the doors before you close. I am the one who still reigns on high, the spring that never runs dry with life, the gentle voice in the night reminding you that every blessing you have ever touched has flowed from my hand. Not one joy, not one stroke of fortune, not one breath comes to you without my mark upon it. I am the source of the joy you seek, the river of abundance that keeps pouring from heaven to earth, weaving into every corner of your life, even when you do not notice. So when dark clouds gather, when the winds of trial make you waver, do not bow too quickly in despair. Remember, you have a choice. You can remain in anxiety and loneliness, or you can lift your head, open your heart, raise your hand toward heaven where I still wait and say, Lord, I thank you. In that very moment, you open the door for light to pour in. My child, how many times have I watched you try to endure everything alone, closing your heart to the world because you fear being hurt again? But isolation is not where I lead you, and sorrow is not what I want you to keep within your heart. I did not create you to live in fear, but to live in joy and peace, joy that does not depend on circumstances, peace that no one can steal. When you choose thanksgiving instead of complaint, prayer instead of blame, when you dare to smile even while your heart trembles, you prove that your faith is greater than your fear, and your hope stronger than your disappointment. This is not merely a spiritual act, it is a proclamation for both heaven and hell to hear, you belong to me, not to the darkness. When you stand in your darkest days, when everything you trusted seems to collapse, I do not demand that you be strong at once. I only ask you to rise, even trembling, even weak, yet still willing to take a step. Faith is not the absence of fear, but the courage to move forward despite it. Remember, every battle in the soul begins with your decision. Either you let circumstances rule you, or you let me lead you. And when you choose to fight by faith, you are not only saving yourself, you are standing for those you love, souls not yet strong enough to believe. Those who look to you to see me through your eyes, through your perseverance even as everything around you breaks apart. I do not let you enter the storm to destroy you, but to teach you that the storm cannot touch the soul that knows it has God. Look around you, do not stare only at the waves. You will see that even at the eye of the storm, there is a hand reaching out. My hand. When you take it, you will know the peace that surpasses understanding. You will see that joy is not loud laughter, but a small light still burning in the dark. The warmth of hope, even when everything feels cold. You do not need a reason to rejoice, because that reason is me. I am the joy you have searched for over the years, the answer to every emptiness you have carried. Do not wait until you see the results before you smile. Smile even when you do not understand, for that is the smile of faith, the smile that sets heaven in motion. When you smile through tears, you sing a song of victory that darkness cannot endure, for it knows a soul that has chosen to believe is a soul no power can defeat. My child, fighting is not only resisting evil, it is also keeping the fire in your heart from going out. Sometimes the greatest battle is not outside you, but within, between faith and fear, between hope and despair. I am there, in the middle of that battle, not to watch, but to fight with you. When times grow harsh, when you feel surrounded by loss and misunderstanding, pause for a moment, close your eyes, and remember who is speaking to you. I am not a distant God, not an idea in a book. I am your Father in heaven, the one who has wept when you hurt, who has waited for you to return, who stretched out his arms on the cross so you could live. My love for you does not shift with circumstances, does not lessen because of failure, does not dissolve because of disappointment. You may change, but my love never changes. There will be days when you do not hear my voice, when you do not feel my presence. But, my child, silence does not mean absence. Like a father teaching a child to walk, I stand close by, quietly watching, so you can learn to stand firm. I want you to know that faith does not mature in comfort, but in trial. So, when you must fight, do not ask, "Why me?" Say instead, "Lord, teach me to walk through this with you." Each time you speak that way, your soul grows a little larger, and darkness loses a portion of its power. When you fight for your life, do not forget to fight for those you love. Pray for them, even when they do not know you are praying. Love them, even when they are not yet strong enough to return it. For your love offered in faith will become a light that guides them through the night. Every small act, every word of thanks, every steadfast tear is not meaningless. All of it is joining a greater plan. A plan I am quietly writing through your very life. And when you feel too weak to pray, simply whisper, "Lord, stay with me. I will be there." When you have no strength left to stand, sit within my arms. Rest for a while. And when you are ready, I will lift you up again. Do not think faith is only glorious victories. Sometimes faith is simply still breathing, still believing, still keeping a gentle heart in the storm. Do you know, there is a deep truth that few realize. The greatest blessing is not when the storm stops, but when you learn to smile in the storm. True joy does not come from everything going your way, but from realizing that no matter how far off the path you wander, I am still great enough to lead you home. Happiness is not in the place you finally reach, but in each step you take with me. Look back and you will see. The days you thought were losses were places where I was sowing seeds of blessing. Every pain that once made you weak has become a lesson that makes you steadier, wiser, and deeper in love. My child, faith is the battle of trust. When you fight, you are not alone, for I am fighting beside you. Though the world may change, I do not. Though people may abandon you, I will not. Though you may lose your way, I still know the road that brings you home. Do not fear the long night, for dawn has already been appointed. Do not fear the fire of testing, for in that fire I am refining you like pure gold. Do not fear what you do not yet know, for I am already there, preparing the way before you. When you choose to walk by faith, you are stepping into the realm of miracles. For faith does not only open the gates of heaven, it also opens your heart to receive everything I am ready to give. You only need to believe, the rest I will do. I do not demand that you be perfect in order for me to love you. I love you so that you may gradually be made whole. You only need to rise, even if your legs still tremble, and say, "I will continue." That alone is enough to shake all of heaven, for it is the sound of a soul that refuses to surrender. My child, remember, I am the mighty God of yours, the one who still holds all things in my hand. I see you when you are weak. I lift you when you fall. And I rejoice when you turn back to seek me in the midst of what you do not understand. My love for you is not a feeling that changes easily. It is an everlasting covenant. The assurance that you will never be alone. Smathiel, my child, for I am still at work, even in the silence. The joy you are looking for is not in tomorrow, but right here in my presence. And once you recognize that, even if the world collapses, your heart will remain steady, because you know you belong to the one who never changes. My child, today I call your name among the countless echoes of the world, beneath the heavy clouds of fear, worry, and dreams you thought had already faded away. Do not wait until tomorrow to open your heart, for grace does not come when you feel ready. It comes when you dare to step forward. Receive the mercy I give you in this very moment, when your heart is still trembling, when your faith is still fragile, when your hands are not yet strong enough to hold on tightly. I do not require you to be perfect in order to be loved. I only ask that you be honest. Do not sit there waiting until everything in you feels settled before you come to me, for it is in that very chaos that I have already been waiting to give you peace. Come close to me, so I may fill your life with a love beyond comparison. Let that love not only comfort you, but awaken you, renew you, and transform your whole being from within. Let my love flow through every corner of your soul, like cool water flooding a parched land after a long drought. That love is not given merely so you feel better for a moment, but to wash away fear and breathe new life into a heart that has grown hardened. Receive this grace, not by keeping it to yourself, but by sharing it, for love lives only when it is passed on, and grace truly becomes abundant when it is given away. When you speak of my kindness, you are not merely telling a story, you are partnering with a miracle. Every word you speak from love will bring light again to some dark place in this world. Let even your breath carry the sound of gratitude. For every second you live is a second in which I am still blessing your life. When you pray, remember three things: simple, yet powerful: gratitude, more gratitude, and once again gratitude, not because everything is going smoothly, but because even in what is not yet whole, I am still there. When you learn to see blessings in small things, your soul will learn how to be at peace in every circumstance. Every time you give thanks, you are opening the door wider for miracles to enter. Each time you say, "Thank you, Lord," you are letting go of burdens you were never meant to carry. When you are grateful, you are saying to me, "I believe, even before I see," and that is the most beautiful confession of faith. Do not wait until you receive what you hope for before you give thanks. Be grateful, even while things remain unfinished. For grace often comes disguised as a trial. My child, you are precious, not because you are perfect, but because you are loved with an everlasting love, a love that does not shift, even if you once walked far from me, doubted, or stumbled. I chose you not because you are better than anyone else, but because I saw in you a light that needed to be kindled. You are a small lamp in the night, and I am the gentle wind that keeps its flame from dying. Let me shelter you beneath the shadow of my wings, so that worries no longer make you tremble. I will cover you and your family with a garment of blessing, and I will give you a peace that cannot be shaken. In every work of your hands, I will place more favor, so that even the smallest things you do carry the fragrance of heaven. Live in the comfort that my love brings, not a temporary comfort, but holy comfort, the kind that assures your soul that no matter how fiercely the winds blow, I remain the strong wall surrounding you. The place where you stand is not a wilderness, it is the land where I am preparing a harvest. In that sacred refuge, you are wrapped in peace, anointed with healing, and renewed day by day. When you think you are depleted, I will add strength. When you think everything has died, I will breathe again. And what you believed was lost will bloom in my time. My child, I see even the dreams you have forgotten, the things you once prayed for and then grew weary. I have never forgotten a single one of them. I still hold them in my hand, waiting for the day you are brave enough to believe again. I will breathe new life into them, for I am the one who raises what is dead, the one who makes dry places overflow. Do not think every closed door is the end. Many times it is simply me opening a different way, a path that leads you to where you truly belong. When you learn to wait in trust, I will cause even the seeds you thought had rotted in the soil to blossom. Stop wandering in loneliness. I have never left you to walk alone. You were simply too focused on the wind to see the hand reaching out beside you. I did not create you to be adrift, but to live in union with me. Loneliness is not your destiny. It is only a sign that your soul is longing to return to its source. Come back, my child. Return to the quiet place in me where there is no accusation, no comparison, only light and boundless mercy. I also know you have tried many times to forget the emptiness by clinging to temporary things, a habit, a person, a fleeting pleasure. But, my child, nothing can fill that space except me. What you search for out there is only the shadow of real love. It makes you happy for a moment and then leaves you with a deeper emptiness than before. I do not come to condemn. I come to set you free from what binds you. Release what makes you heavy, and you will find my hands already reaching to receive you. When you fall, I do not walk away. When you are confused, I do not turn my face. When you are weak, I am not disappointed. I remain there patiently waiting for the day you stop and realize there is no place safer than my heart. Let my love soften your heart, so it may teach you to love yourself not with self-satisfaction, but with reverence for a child created in my image. When you learn this, you will no longer need to search for your worth outside, for you will have found the source of your worth in me. My child, today I give you a promise. Everything you entrust to me will be restored. Every fragment of your life I will fit together into a picture of grace. The years you thought were lost, I will repay many times over, not with riches, but with true peace and joy. You do not need to prove yourself worthy of blessing. Simply believe that you are loved. That is enough. When you stop striving to control everything, you will see my hand holding all things for you. And then, within my love, you will learn to dream again. Dream bigger, higher, holier dreams. Do not be afraid to dream, for I am the one who planted those desires in your heart. I did not give you longing to extinguish it, but to fulfill it with you in my appointed time. When you lay those dreams before me, I will guide every step, every turn, every unexpected moment, and you will realize that what you lost will never outweigh what I am about to give. Live, but not in anxiety. Breathe, but not in exhaustion. Walk, but not in doubt. Live in the comfort of my love, where every wind only helps you understand more deeply the preserving power of the one who called you by name. When you abide in me, you are no longer the weak one, swept away by storms, but one covered in the light of life. Walk in that faith, for my blessing does not come and go. It remains forever in the souls that know gratitude. My child, I believe that nothing in your life lies outside my plan. Every path, even the winding ones, is leading you closer to me. And one day you will look back and realize everything that once made you weep was, in truth, a lesson teaching you how to love, how to give thanks, and how to know that there is no place more beautiful than being held in my arms. Today I bless you with the promise of peace, with light that drives out every darkness, with strength to walk through each trial, and with a heart soft enough to love and strong enough to stand firm. Live as one who has been saved, love as one who has been forgiven, and give thanks as one who has received grace beyond understanding. For, my child, my love is not only for you to know, it is for you to live. And when you live in that love, you will see everything around you begin to revive as well, like a barren garden bursting into bloom after a rain of grace. My child, listen deeply within your heart, for what I speak is not a promise carried away by the wind, but the breath of truth, the heartbeat of a love that has crossed every boundary. I have seen you walk through days that felt like there was no way out. Nights when your heart shattered under the weight of fear and despair. I know you have asked, Lord, are you truly here? Do you hear me when I cry? And I tell you, at the very moment you felt most alone, that I was the closest. I will not let you fall. I will not let you be swallowed by the depths. I do not speak empty words, for my word is action, power, and life. Everything I declare carries the breath of creation. And when I say, you will make it through, heaven and earth move to open the way before you. My child, the world may make you tremble. Illness may weary your body, but do not let your spirit be subdued, for it is precisely when you are weak that my strength is made complete. I did not call you to walk a path strewn with flowers, yet I give you this assurance. Though you pass through fire, you will not be burned. Though you pass through water, it will not drown you, because my hand is holding you. Do not let fear speak louder than my word, for I am the one whose voice is final. When you hear the storm winds roar, remember, I am still the Lord of the tempest. When the world rejects you, remember, I have still chosen you as my own. Stop and look how many times you thought you could not go on, yet you still stood firm. How many times tears fell like rain, yet morning returned. That is not coincidence. It is my grace quietly covering you. No storm comes to destroy you, but to reveal faith. No trial comes to crush you, but to refine the soul. My child, when you choose to believe, even with only a small ray of hope, you place yourself within reach of miracles. Faith need not be loud or dazzling. It only needs to be steadfast and true. I do not demand that you be strong at all times. I only ask that you do not let go. For every second you still believe is every second I am still at work. I have seen your heart grow weary as you held the diagnosis in your hands. Your eyes blur as you heard words too hard to accept. And I have whispered, do not be afraid. No words in the universe are stronger than when I say, do not be afraid. For that saying is not only comfort, it is love's command. When I speak, every hidden power in the darkness must retreat. The illness may cause your body pain, but it cannot touch your soul if you hold on to faith. Remember, I did not create the storm to drown you. I use it to teach you how to walk upon the waves. When medicine says, there is no way, I say, believe. When people say, that is impossible, I say, with me, nothing is impossible. Therefore I urge you by the power of love, by the truth that has conquered death, put on the mantle of peace. It is not merely a sacred image, but a reality I give to those who trust. When you wear that mantle, you are clothing your mind with the kingdom of heaven, where fear has no voice, where panic finds no refuge, where only love reigns. Let that love shape your feelings, so you do not react by instinct, but respond with wisdom, born of faith. Let that love wash your thoughts, so each time you face a problem, you no longer ask, why is this happening to me? But instead ask, Lord, what can I learn in this trial? I do not want you to live in a spirit of fear, for I have given you the spirit of power, love, and self-control. Fear makes you lose your footing, but love restores you to your true place, a child of the eternal. Remember, you were not created to be led by anxiety, but to govern your emotions through my power. When you recognize this, you will no longer chase every upheaval, but will know how to stand still in raging waves, because your soul has been anchored in me. My child, there will be times when every prayer seems to fall into silence. But silence does not mean absence. Like a farmer awaiting the harvest, I am working within the soil where your eyes cannot yet see. The tree of faith needs time to take root. Patience in silence is the proof of genuine trust. When you do not see results yet, still lift your eyes to heaven. That is when I see you shining brightest. You do not need to understand everything, only trust that I understand. You do not need to see every way out, only know that I am already at the end of the road. Allow me to turn your pain into strength, for only through the cracks can light slip in. Each time you endure with faith, you make heaven smile. You are not alone, because many faithful souls are praying with you, and my hand upon you has not moved away. Offer me what you cannot control. Do not try to clutch what makes you afraid. Place it into my hands. When you let go, I will act. When you believe, I will heal. When you stand firm, I will make a way. I do not promise to remove every storm, but I promise to walk with you through them. True strength does not come from avoiding suffering, but from standing steady within it. Faith is not the absence of tears. It is believing that every tear has meaning. When you are weak, lean on me. When you are lost, let me lead you. When you fall, let me lift you up. For my hand is never late. I have counted every breath you take, called every tear by name, and never once forgotten a single prayer. My child, do not measure your worth by what you are losing. You are precious not because you are successful, healthy, or perfect, but because you belong to me. That alone makes you full, even when you have nothing. When you recognize this, you will stop searching for validation from others, because you have been sealed with everlasting love. Every rejecting voice, every belittling rumor, every doubtful glance, none of it matters when you know who I am and who you are in me. So I want you to walk in that strength, not the strength of muscles or fame, but the strength of a soul that has passed through fire and still knows how to love. The strength of one who has suffered without turning bitter, who has lost and still knows how to give thanks, who has been wounded and still chooses forgiveness. Let your faith become a flame that warms others in the night. Let the peace within you be a testimony that I am still living, still moving, still loving every breath of humanity. My child, do not forget that I have gone before you. Every road you are walking, I have already walked. Every tear you have shed, I have tasted. There is no pain you endure that I do not understand. So when it feels too heavy, remember, you are not carrying it alone. I am carrying it with you. When you tremble, I am sheltering you. When you are weak, I am sustaining you. And when you can no longer pray, I am still interceding for you with words no one can hear. My child, keep your heart tender, for a hardened heart cannot feel grace. Do not let bitterness seal the door of your soul, because where there is forgiveness, I will enter. Love even when others seem undeserving. For when you love, you resemble me most. Believe, even when you do not yet see. For then you step into the kingdom of miracles. Give thanks. Pray. And remain steadfast, not because everything is easy, but because you know I am trustworthy. I will be there in your weakest moments. I will be there when the world turns its back. I will be there when your cry is only a whisper. And my child, There is no abyss I cannot reach into, no darkness I cannot cut through with a path of light to draw you out. For I am the light, the love, the life, the truth. When you choose to trust me, you choose life. When you choose to love, you choose freedom. When you choose steadfastness, you choose the road that leads to victory. Therefore, rise up, shake the dust of disappointment from your garment, and wrap yourself in the cloak of love I have woven with grace. Walk not with worry, but with the certainty that one has gone before you, one is with you now, and one will be waiting for you at the end of the road. And as you walk, do not look back, for the past has been washed clean. Do not look to either side, for I have set your direction. Look straight ahead where light is shining, where peace awaits, where my promise is still as living as the first day I spoke it. You will overcome. My child, the love you are feeling is not a fragile passing thing, but an endless current flowing from the very heart of the Creator. It does not come merely to comfort you for a moment, but to reshape the way you see life. Yesterday, today, and forever. That love remains whole and unchanged. I want to see light in your eyes, to see joy bloom again on your lips after so many days shut behind sorrow. For, my child, your joy is also my joy. When you smile, the heavens seem brighter. When you give thanks, all of heaven sounds a new song. I come not only to wipe away your tears, but to teach you that tears, too, can be seeds of hope. Tell me, do you see it? The love I have for you has never stopped, never faded. I am here within your breath, within the rhythm of your heart, within every slender ray of light that slips through the curtain. I am present in the simplest moments of your days, in every morning you wake and realize you still have a chance to begin again. Every breath you draw is proof that I have not departed. I hold your heart within my hands, not letting it stray, even for a beat. What you fear, I already know. What you hide, I have already seen. Yet I do not come to condemn, I come to heal. For my love is not a flame that flares and dies, but a sun that warms even when clouds obscure it. Let me touch the deepest place within you, the place you feared others might see, the place you thought was broken beyond repair. I will make that place a new garden, where life sprouts from what seemed dead. I know there are days when you no longer believe you are worthy of love. The world makes you think that you are only cherished when you are strong, when you succeed, when you make others admire you. But I am not like that. I find your beauty precisely in that weakness, in the very place where you can admit that you need me. When you kneel down, it is not a failure, but the beginning of true victory. For the soul that knows how to humble itself is the soul that allows me to lift it up. Do you understand that every time you open your mouth to give thanks, heaven resounds with songs of joy? For gratitude is the sign of a free soul, a soul no longer imprisoned by fear or doubt. I give you my Holy Spirit like a gentle breeze blowing across parched ground, bringing back to life what once seemed withered. That Spirit does not only change your actions, but transforms the very way you feel, think, and believe. He will teach you to love yourself again through my eyes, to speak with my words, and to trust with the beat of my heart. Then you will see that faith is not forcing yourself to believe, but letting yourself fall into the arms of the one who is worthy of trust. My Spirit will refresh your soul, wash away bitterness, and sow in you seeds of patience, kindness, and gentleness. He will loosen for you the invisible chains that have bound your soul with anxiety and self-condemnation. Know that every day you live is a new love song I write just for you. Sometimes its melody is low and sorrowful, Sometimes it is lively and bright, but every single note has meaning. I want you to hear that rhythm so that you may know your life is not meaningless. The dry seasons and lonely days are only the pauses in the song, so that when you find joy again, the chorus will rise stronger than ever. Do not be afraid of loneliness, for even when everyone else walks away, I remain. Do not be afraid that no one understands you, for I understand every breath, every hidden sob you hide away. I do not need you to explain. I only need you to let me stay by your side. When you are weak, I will be your strength. When you are lost, I will be your light. When you are confused, I will be your truth. And when you weep, I will be your refuge. Not a single tear falls without my seeing it. Every tear of yours is a gem in the crown I have prepared for you. For those who know how to weep before me are the ones who know how to love truly. Do not be ashamed when you feel tired. Speak to me, for I never grow weary of listening to you. Even if you repeat the same prayer over and over, I still listen as if it were the first time. Because I do not count how many times you ask, I only count the beats of your heart when you call my name. Believe that with me. Nothing is too small. A word of thanks, a kind gaze, a single act of love, all of these move the heart of heaven. For I do not look at what is grand and impressive. I look at the heart. When you offer someone a smile while you yourself are in pain, I see that as a miracle. When you forgive the one who has wounded you, I see that as a victory. When you continue to believe in what is good even though the world is full of lies, I see that as living proof of a faith that is alive. My child, I want you to remember that peace does not come from everything around you being calm, but from your heart being held within my arms. That hand does not only hold you, it shelters, supports, shapes, and guides you. When you walk in my light, you will no longer fear what is unknown. For that light does not promise that the road will be smooth, but it does guarantee that you will never be alone. I will go with you through every valley, and when you are too weak to walk, I will carry you on my shoulders. I know you have hidden longings and dreams you have never spoken aloud. Do not be afraid that I do not hear, for I can read even the words that have never become sound. When you pray in tears, I have already heard you with my heart. When you no longer have strength to pray, I still place prayers for you upon the lips of my Son. Believe that no prayer is forgotten. There are only prayers waiting for the best moment to blossom. I am never late. I come at the very moment when you are ready to receive what you truly need, not just what you want. And when you feel weary, stop and close your eyes. Breathe deeply and call my name. Let your heart grow quiet enough to feel the warmth of my presence. You will see that true joy is not far away. It has always been there, only waiting for you to open your heart. Let me change the way you see, so that you may notice the miracles in what seems ordinary, and see love in the smallest details. Write down the things you are grateful for, because when you remember your blessings, the darkness will slowly fade away. My dear child, I have loved you with a love that cannot be measured, a love that never grows tired, a love that never demands repayment. That love is your shelter whenever the world wounds you. Stay within it. Do not wander away anymore. For when you remain in my love, every fear melts like mist before the dawn. Every weakness is clothed with strength. Every confusion gives way to trust. Believe that you belong to me, and no one can take that from you. I have come to give peace, to exchange the scars within you for light, your sobs for songs, your disappointments for hope. I have come to make your soul new, to plant trust again in the very place where you had despaired. I have come not only to comfort, but to restore, and as you walk in this love, you will become a living testimony that no darkness can overcome the light. No wound is deeper than grace, and no soul is so lost that I cannot bring it home. My child, remain in my arms, where all that is broken can be healed, where every tear is welcomed, where every weary soul finds rest. From this day on, you no longer need to search for love itself is searching for you, and that love is me. My child, I have heard your sighs in the middle of the night. When your heart is heavy with weariness too deep to be named, I see every tear that falls onto your pillow. I see every clumsy prayer you whisper, thinking no one hears. But I am still there, still stretching out my arms in the midst of the chaos, still placing my gentle hand upon your heart. When the world wounds you, I am your protector, and when you feel alone in the crowd, I am your place of quiet refuge. My dear one, I have heard everything, seen everything. Nothing of you has been forgotten. Your sighs are the most silent prayers. And I, the one who dwells in eternity, have heard them more clearly than anyone else. I know you have walked through heavy days, when those you once trusted turned their backs, when sharp words were spoken not for the sake of truth, but out of envy. You try to keep your heart still, yet inside, winds of doubt continue to blow. I know this. There are people who do not understand the light within you. They see your faith and honesty as a mirror that forces them to face themselves. And instead of changing, they choose to wound. You do not need to defend yourself. Let me speak for you. For the greatest defense of the righteous is not in their many words, but in their life. Let the way you live be a testimony stronger than any accusation. Those who try to push you down think they have won when you remain silent. But I tell you the truth, it is in the silence that I am most at work. I am moving things you cannot see, overturning the plans of the wicked through your very holiness. Some use their words to hurt you, not knowing that every bitter word they speak becomes a stone hurled against an invisible wall, the wall of my protection around you. The harder they throw, the more they will feel their own hands bleed. For no one can touch a person who rests in my arms without wounding themselves. My beloved, there are trials that come not to destroy you, but to reveal who truly belongs to the light. Do not fear the rumors, for it is the weak who need noise to prove they have power. But you do not need to answer, for my power is the loudest reply. You may feel lonely, but you are never alone. You are surrounded by angels I have sent to guard you. Your heart may tremble, but I am still there, placing peace in the center of the storm. You need only to stand firm, for I myself will fight for you. My child, let me tell you a secret that only those who belong to me can understand. When the world attacks one who is mine, they think they are fighting you, but in truth they are fighting me. They think you are weak, unable to fight back, but they do not know that I am hidden in every breath you take. They see you wounded, but I am already healing you within that very wound. They see you weep, but each tear is being transformed by me into a seed of grace, so that one day, from those very tears will spring a joy that no one will be able to steal. Do not trouble yourself over slander, for every such word is only a passing gust of wind, unable to sway the lamp I have placed within you. When others rage, keep your heart calm. When others threaten, pray. When they long to see you fall, bow your head in gratitude. For every peaceful act of yours is a sword stroke against the darkness that tries to encircle you. Darkness is not afraid of shouting. It is afraid of the quiet heart of one who believes. My child, I did not create you to be crushed beneath human cruelty. I created you to be a witness that light still triumphs, even when it is only a small flame. So do not complain. Do not let bitterness flood your heart. Do not let your soul become a storehouse for the hatred of others. Let every evil thing fall at your feet without leaving a stain. When they curse you, be silent and pray. When they deceive you, remember that I am justice. When they turn their backs on you, turn your face toward me. For there you will see a light that never goes out. Do not think that I do not see the unfaithful. I see clearly every scheme and every plotted word. Yet I do not act at once, because I want you to learn the strength of patience. At times I allow the wicked to seem victorious, not because I agree with them, but so that by their own deeds they unveil themselves. As for you, if you remain faithful, if you continue to love in silence, then your very heart will be the evidence that exposes them. For light does not need to speak to prove it is light, it only needs to shine, and the darkness will reveal itself. My child, what you are enduring today is not the end. It is only a chapter I am using to prepare you for a greater calling. Not a single tear you have shed is meaningless, and not one injustice has been forgotten. You may feel as though you have been pushed to the very edge, but it is precisely there that you will find a new beginning. When the world extinguishes every opportunity before you, I will open a door that no one can shut. When people take your place from you, I will give you a standing that no power can touch. My child, do not be afraid when the storm rises, for you are in the boat with me. The waves may be high and the winds may be fierce, yet with one word from me, the sea will be still. I do not promise that you will never be tested, but I do promise you will never be swallowed up. My hand is upon you, and that hand never trembles. When I say, be still, the tempest will quiet. When I say, rise, those who once looked down on you will bow their heads. The forces of darkness think you are easy prey, but they are mistaken. You are a warrior of light, clothed in the armor of faith and covered by my mercy. They may whisper lies, but they cannot pierce the faith in your heart. They may try to cast you into the depths, yet from that very darkness I will cause you to emerge more radiant than before. For the one who belongs to me cannot be buried, only planted like a seed, and then raised with new life. Be at peace, for everything that is happening is in my hands. The world will still be shaken, rumors of war, schemes, anxieties, but remember this, you do not belong to darkness, you belong to peace. Even if the world collapses around you, you will remain standing, because your foundation is the love I have laid. Do not let fear pull you away. Do not let anger tear your heart apart. Lift up your head and look, my light is still shining. I know you are tired, but do not stop. You are walking the path of the chosen. Let every wound remind you that you are still within my purpose. Let every trial be proof that I trust you with weighty things. My child, if you were not strong enough, I would not have placed you there. If you were not bright enough, I would not have allowed the darkness to test you. So stand firm. What you are suffering is not rejection, it is preparation. Beloved, let me say it again. You are safe in my hands. No evil can reach you. No words can truly diminish you. No darkness can steal the light within your heart. When I have chosen you, no one can cast you out. When I have blessed you, no power can curse you. Therefore, stand steady, believe, and rest assured, I am your protector, your refuge, your peace in the storm, your light in the long night. And my child, in my arms you will always be safe, even if the world trembles. Your heart can remain at rest. My beloved child, there are nights that feel endless, as if morning will never come, when your soul is weary and your eyes can no longer see the light ahead. You ask, Lord, why does darkness keep closing in around me? Why do the wicked hold their heads high, while the upright are trampled? But, my child, do not let your heart be shaken. For those who despise me will also walk in the darkness of their own making. And you, my little soul whom I love, will be kept by the light of grace, not by wealth, fame, or the strength of this world, but by the power of my Holy Spirit, the living water flowing within you, steadying you in the storm and making you shine in the dim night. Let that Spirit wash away the dust of doubt, drive out the stains of fear, and kindle within you a new flame, the flame of steadfast faith. Do not seek your righteousness in the eyes of people, for true righteousness needs no defense. It speaks through the way you live, through gentleness amid harsh words, through the choice of kindness even when you are treated unfairly. My child, do not answer the world's roar with anger, for anger only wearies your soul more. Let your heart be still, like a calm lake reflecting the blue sky, for in that stillness I will speak. You do not need to protect yourself with words, for my hand will shield you from unseen poisoned arrows, from cruel curses that the wicked release in the dark. Every plot raised against you will crumble to dust before my authority. Remember this, and if a day comes when you feel weak, speak these words aloud to remind your soul. I am covered by the power of the blood of Jesus. No evil can touch me. Those words are not merely a prayer, they are an unseen shield, a mark of protection that hell itself trembles to hear. My dear one, your faith, though small, is a precious jewel in my sight. It is not the faith of the proud who dares the storm, but the faith of the one who bows in the gale and still whispers, I trust you. Your strength is not in never falling, but in reaching for me each time you do. I see every effort, every tear, every night you wanted to give up, yet chose to pray. You think those moments are weakness? No. My child, those are the moments you are strongest, because you chose faith over complaint and lifted your eyes instead of sinking down. And now I say to you, it is time to stop holding everything up by your own strength. It is time to learn to rest in my peace. I do not want you to strain against everything. I want you to relax into the arms of the one who never sleeps. Lay your burdens down. My child, do not cling to what was never yours to carry. Whatever you lose, if it was not what I gave, then even that loss is a blessing. And what truly belongs to you, even if the world tries to steal it, I will restore in the right time, in the right way. Believe that you do not need to save your own life. I have been doing that, and I am doing it still. Write down the worries weighing on your heart, each fear, each wound, each fragment of doubt about the future. When you see them before your eyes, you will realize how small they are compared to my grace. Every negative thought is a speck of dust, and I am the pure rain that washes it all away. Bring them to me. Then put your pen down, breathe out, and release them. You do not need to control everything, because only when you open your hands can my mighty hand move freely. I do not need you to be strong. I need you to be trusting and obedient. Do you know that every season of your life has its own purpose? The season of sowing, the season of harvest, the season of quiet, the season of testing, all are arranged perfectly within my plan. When you do not yet see results, do not rush into doubt, for in the silence I am cultivating what you do not understand. There is a time for you to rise and fight, and there is also a time for you to sit and rest in my embrace. No one can live in tension forever. Even a warrior needs a peaceful night by the fire to recover. That is what I desire for you, not the end of the battle, but the wisdom to fight while remaining at peace. Because you know I am with you in every step. Look around you. My child, how many times have I rescued you from dangers you never even knew existed? There were threats your eyes could not see, yet I removed them from your path. There were poisonous curses the wicked spoke, but I dissolved them before they could reach you. There were moments you thought you escaped by chance, when in truth it was my hand pulling you away from a falling sword. I have always been there in every breath, every moment, every turning you chose. I have loved you not because you are perfect, but because you belong to me. And now, child whom I cherish, I invite you into a new journey, not a path of fear and constant struggle, but one of blessing and peace. I do not say you will never face trials, but I promise every trial will become a step that lifts you higher. Each time you trust, you will see another door open. Each time you give thanks, you will sense a small miracle beginning to grow. This journey does not require you to know the destination. It only asks that you take my hand and walk. For I know the way. I know the resting place. And I know the moments your soul must pause to learn the lessons of love and faith. You have fought for so long. I see the wounds within you. And I see the times you swallowed your sobs just to appear strong. But now you do not need to strain anymore. Let me be your strength. Let me do what you cannot. You were not born to carry every pain alone. Allow me to carry it with you. When you are exhausted, I will be your breath. When you are confused, I will be your direction. When you are lonely, I will be your silent companion. Only believe, and I will take care of the rest. Walk through your days with a peaceful heart. Do not let what happens out there disturb what is within. Peace is not the absence of storms. It is knowing who commands the wind. Keep that faith close to your heart. It is the anchor that keeps you from being swept away by the chaos of life. Begin your mornings, not with worry, but with gratitude. End your long nights not with tears, but with surrender. For each day you live in trust is a day the darkness is driven back. I want you to know this. No curse can reach you when you live in my light. Every slander, every jealousy, every scheme of the wicked, each one dissolves when it touches the belt of the Lamb's blood around you. You are a child protected, chosen, and loved. No power seen or unseen can take that from you. For once I have set my seal upon your forehead. Even hell itself dares not touch you. My child, the world may shake, but my kingdom does not. People may turn their backs, but I will never leave you. When you walk through the valley of shadows, I walk beside you. When you fall, I bend down. When you cry out, I listen. When you forget me, I still remember you. Nothing can separate you from my love. And when you truly grasp this, you will understand. Peace does not come from everything outside changing, but from your heart knowing you were never abandoned. Go, my child. Keep walking with gentle steps, not with an anxious heart, but with a soul overflowing with faith. For every step you take in trust is an act of praise, and every moment you live in peace is a hymn rising in the midst of life. I have set aside for you a future full of light, a path radiant with grace, where every tear will become a jewel and every pain will turn into a testimony. And when you reach the end of the journey, you will look back, smile, and say, I was kept in your hand through all this way. So, my child, trust and rest. Let go of what does not belong to you, and hold fast to the one thing that never changes, my love. When you keep my word in your heart, you will no longer be afraid. When you walk in my light, darkness cannot cling to you. When you allow me to lead, you will realize that every road that once hurt was guiding you toward blessing. Open your heart, receive peace, and let true joy return within you. For this life of yours, beloved child, is still held in my hand. My child, pause for a moment. Let your heart settle like a lake after the wind is past. You have gone too fast. For too long, carrying burdens on your shoulders that I never intended you to bear alone. You have chased the voices of the world and forgotten that not every open door leads to light. Slow down, my child, for no one can hear my voice in the rush. When your soul is stirred, when your mind is crowded with must do, must have, must succeed, you gradually lose the ability to recognize my gentle presence. Loosen your grip for a while. Sit beside the quiet waters I prepared for you long before you grew weary. Do not fear stillness, for in silence I will speak to you what the world can never understand. You often think that pressing on is strength, but sometimes true strength is found in stopping so you can be healed. I do not need you to rush forward in exhaustion. I need you to pause and remember that you are not alone. Whenever you force yourself onward, you forget that I am the source of your strength. Let me lift you. Let me refill your spirit with a peace the world cannot give. Some trials come not to make you fall, but to draw you back to me. When you slow down, you will hear the beating of my heart, the rhythm of love without regret, without weariness, without abandonment. You think I demand perfection from you? Yet what I desire is simply a heart that knows how to rest in my embrace. Remember, I am not waiting at the end of the road to love you only after you achieve enough success. I am right where you stand in the storm, in the tears, in the moments when you can do nothing but sigh. Look back. How many times did you think you were about to collapse? And yet you have remained standing to this day. That is not because you are so capable, but because my grace has still covered you. Are you tired? Then allow yourself to sit down and breathe within my presence. I do not want you to run to me with hurried feet. I want you to come with an open heart. For when you let me in, you will see life flowing like cool water in a barren desert. When you slow down, you will see that I am leading you through paths you once feared. Every slower step is a step closer to wisdom. I do not measure your speed. I measure the depth of your trust. Some journeys you think are pauses are, in truth, the beginning of a deep transformation. Let me lift you to higher ground, where small things no longer trip you, where your soul is freed from comparison, from the worry of what others think. I did not create you to live under the pressure of the world's gaze. I created you to live in the light of grace. Remember this: no one reaches the mountaintop in a single breath. Every blessing has its own journey. When you find yourself slowed down, do not panic. Perhaps I am stopping you to realign your steps, so you do not wander into shortcuts of pride or fear. You will never be left behind if you keep holding my hand. Each challenge is not a period at the end of your story, but a lesson I use to sharpen your faith. Do not fear the days when you cannot see the light, for the light has never left you. I am teaching you to see with the eyes of faith, not the eyes of feeling. My child, I know there are times you want to collapse because you feel there is nothing left to hold on to. But remember, in the very moment you think you have no strength, you will find my hand resting upon your shoulder. When you cannot walk, I will carry you. When you cannot pray, I will intercede for you with the breath of the Holy Spirit. Do not be ashamed of weakness, for weakness is where my power is revealed most fully. True strength is not that you never fall, but that you know who it is that always raises you up. Do you see that mountain in the distance? It is high, it is steep, and sometimes covered with mist. Yet I have appointed that you will reach it, not to prove you are impressive, but to show you that your faith can lift you higher than your fear. I will not let you climb alone. I will be the cool breeze by your ear, the sun that warms you, the hand that keeps you from slipping. Each time you are weak, I will carry you. Each time you are discouraged, I will whisper, do not stop, for the summit is not far. And when you arrive, You will understand why the journey was so long. Every tear that fell will become rain that washes the dust from your path. Every wound that once bled will become the mark of a soul that overcame. You will look back and see that I never left you alone on any slope. In the moments you thought I was silent, I was walking beside you, quietly bearing the weight you could not even name. Blessing, my child, does not come like lightning, but like gentle rain falling little by little, soaking in, nourishing the soul. When I say I will pour blessing like rain, it is not so you must see it instantly, but so you will trust that dry ground will bloom in its season. Today you may see nothing but heavy clouds, yet beyond the clouds is a radiant dawn. Trust me, for I have appointed for you a harvest of abundance. When you reach the summit, you will see those heavy clouds were not darkness, but a veil, so that my light would shine more brilliantly when the time comes. I do not promise the road will be smooth, but I do promise that I will always be there. You do not need to know the whole plan, you only need to know who holds your hand. Walk by faith even when you cannot see the entire path, for I already see it. I have gone before you and prepared every way. If you remain steadfast, if you keep believing, I will do the rest. My child, learn to rest in grace. Rest is not giving up, it is being renewed with true strength. When you rest in me, you do not stop moving forward. You simply walk to heaven's rhythm, slow, but sure, steady, not lost. Let me teach you the cadence of peace, not hurried, not competing, but gentle steps filled with power. For you will never reach what I have ordained by your own strength, only by surrender. When you slow down, you will notice the small things you once missed. You will realize that morning sunlight is also a miracle, that a quiet breath is also a gift. You will see that I am not only in the grand moments, but also in the simple ones, a smile, an embrace, a stray beam of light in the night. And as you recognize this, your heart will soften, it will stop panicking, it will learn how to love and how to trust again. When I say, slow down, I do not want you to stop living, I want you to live for real. Living is not a race, it is feeling each breath within my presence. Everything you seek peace, happiness, meaning is in me, and I am not at the end of the race. I am right beside you. Every step, every minute, every breath. Let me lead. Let me hold your hand. When you release control, you will find true freedom, the freedom that does not depend on circumstances, but comes from trusting that I am ordering all things for you. Then, when you stand on the mountaintop I promised, you will understand why you had to pass through so many long slopes. Without the weary stretches, you would not know how precious it is to rest in my arms. Without the dark days, you would not recognize how warm the light truly is. And when the clouds part, when dawn spreads before your eyes, you will see no pain was wasted, no tear was meaningless. Each one became a blessing. The rain of grace will pour down, not only to revive your soul, but also to make you a refreshing stream for others. For a soul made new in me carries the fragrance of hope, spreading like a cool wind to those who have lost their way. And at last, you will understand, the miracle is not that you climbed so high, but that you allowed me to climb with you. When we reach the summit, when the clouds dissolve and the sun shines, you will no longer see yourself as alone, for there I will stand beside you, smile, and say, you did not give up. You have walked the full journey of faith, and then blessing will not only rest upon the land, it will overflow within you, like a river of grace that never runs dry. My child, let your soul open in this moment. for I am coming to teach you something. Only those who walk by faith understand. The longings you have carried deep within are not random dreams, but seeds I planted from the beginning. Every holy desire you bear carries my imprint, an unspoken promise I wrote in your heart, waiting for the day it blooms. Yet you have tried to reach it by yourself, grown weary, trying to shape everything by your own strength, and then realized that without me, every effort scatters like dust before the wind. Do you see? It is precisely when you are exhausted, precisely when you admit, I cannot, that I begin to do what is possible. The road ahead is not laid with silk, but with trials with stones you must step over by faith. Do not fear, for each stone is a foothold I have set before you, becoming a staircase upward. You will stumble, you will fall, you will be hurt, but I will turn it all into a journey of beauty where pain becomes proof of growth, where tears become pearls that light your way. Beloved child, I see in you the desire to live true to your calling, to do what matters, to witness blessing poured over your life. These things are real, and I rejoice that you long for them. But do not forget, my gifts are never given so you may shine alone, but so you may become an extension of love. Every gift you receive: wisdom, compassion, talent. Strength is a vessel through which I reveal glory. If you use those gifts to seek approval, you will soon be drained. But if you use them to serve, you will always be filled. I do not pour favor on those who only keep. I pour favor on those who dare to give. When you open your hands, I will pour out even more. For I see in you a heart no longer afraid of lack. And that is true freedom, freedom from fear, from comparison, from the shadow of self that wearies the soul beyond measure. My dear child, I know there are nights when you sigh as you look around and see others moving faster, succeeding more, while you are still wrestling with small beginnings. But do not compare your seed to another's tree in bloom. Every seed has its season. Every soul has God's rhythm. You only need to be faithful in sowing, and I will make it grow. Learn to be patient with yourself as I have been patient with you. Sometimes I let you slow down, not to punish you, but to teach you to trust, to lean on me. When you walk slowly, yet keep believing, your faith is being strengthened. When you see nothing, yet still step forward, heaven rejoices. I remind you each day, if you are going to pour your strength into anything, pour it into believing. For faith is the root of every miracle. Do not spend your energy on worry, because worry is a prayer for the worst to happen. Spend it on trust, because faith opens the way for grace to draw near. When you see through the eyes of faith, the enemy is no longer terrifying. It may roar like a lion, but it is only an empty echo. The true lion, the Lion of Judah, is me, and I stand beside you, shielding you from all evil. The trials you fear are lessons meant to make you stronger. Each time you face hardship and still choose not to retreat, you are growing in grace. Do not run from trials. See them as chances to know me more clearly, to recognize my power not only in victory, but also in every tear I have kept within your heart. My child, take my hand. I know you have often tried to walk through storms alone, trying to control the road, only to be disappointed when things did not go your way. But what I want to teach you is not how to master life, but how to trust. Life does not need to be controlled, it needs to be entrusted. When you place the helm in my hands, I will lead you to places you never dared to hope for. You do not need to know the whole route. You only need to know who is leading. When you put your hand in mine, even darkness cannot make you lose your way. I know your heart is fragile. Some days your faith feels worn like a candle about to go out. The winds of life blow and you want to let go. But I say to you, If you still have even a small ember of trust, I will breathe it back to life. I will rekindle what you thought had died. I will restore what you believed was lost. You are not alone. Each time you whispered a prayer in loneliness, I listened. Each time you sat in silence from exhaustion, I laid my hand on your shoulder without your knowing. And in the moments you were weakest, I was working most powerfully. Beloved child, you may think I pour out grace according to merit. But no, my grace is not measured by achievement, but by trust. I give to those who open their hearts to receive. And do you know this? The one who believes will always see wonder. Faith does not make me love you more, but it makes you recognize that love more clearly. Faith is the eyes that see the unseen, the ears that hear my voice in the midst of noise, and the heart that feels my hand in what seems like a cold wind. When you walk with me, every risk will become opportunity. Every obstacle will turn into a stepping stone. The road ahead does not promise ease, but with me, it becomes holy. Do not seek a journey without storms. Seek a faith that blooms within the storm. When you choose to believe, fear grows smaller, and I grow larger within you. And then no power can make you fall, for I am the firm foundation beneath your feet. Remember, nothing in your life is random. Every trial is a lesson. Every tear is ink, writing a story of grace. If you are walking through the night, do not panic. The night exists, so my sun may rise even more brightly. If you feel lonely, do not fear. I often speak my deepest words in solitude. If you sense old dreams drifting away, do not despair too quickly. Perhaps I am changing the direction, leading you toward a greater dream, a truer one, aligned with heaven's purpose for you. Have the courage to believe that everything I am leading you through today is preparing you for tomorrow's blessing. You may not yet see the destination, but I do. You may not understand the reason, but I do. You may not yet know the meaning, but I am weaving it into every detail of your life. Keep walking in peace, for everything you fear is only temporary, while my love is eternal. Come now, my beloved child, stand up and hold my hand tightly. This journey is only for the two of us, you and me. Do not look back at what has passed, and do not fear what has not yet come. Everything you need, I have already placed within you: faith, strength, courage. You only need to believe, and everything will naturally bloom. When you choose to walk with me, blessings will follow you like water chasing after a boat. Go with the certainty that you are loved, not because you are perfect, but because I am perfect within you. And remember, child of light, when you walk with me, even the smallest things become sacred. Every smile, every good deed, every act of forgiveness, all of it bears witness that my love is living in you. Though the winds of life may rage and the road may be steep, trust that my hand is still holding you. For as long as you still believe, you have never been lost. So breathe deeply, keep walking, and let me lead you to the place where blessing is waiting, where your soul will sing the song of those who have been loved and redeemed. My beloved child, do not tremble before sickness or the weakness of the body, for the final word does not belong to pain, it belongs to me, the one who breathed the breath of life into you from the beginning. When pain wears you down, when medicine has no more answers, when all your pleading seems to echo only in the night, remember this: I am never silent because I have forgotten you. I am silent so you will know that my power is still greater than every limit of this world. Illness may wear down your body, but it cannot touch the soul I have sealed with everlasting love. Believe that a single word from me is enough to make every wound bow down. A single glance from me is enough to turn the impossible into the accomplished. For I hold authority over life and death, and if I have not called you home, then no power can snatch you from my arms. When I lift my hand, every burden will fall away. When I speak, what is dark will dissolve. Do not look at circumstances. Look to the one who formed even those circumstances. For sometimes, in the very center of pain, I am remaking you not so you merely endure, but so you grow in the Spirit, so that your faith is no longer tender like a fragile seed, but becomes an ancient tree reaching toward the heavens, its roots driven deep into my faithfulness. You have asked for a miracle, but the truest miracle is not only healing from sickness, it is the peace you can carry even in the sickness. For only a healed soul can strengthen the body. No force can erase the plans I have set for you. Do not fear people. Do not worry about obstacles. Do not doubt time. Everything I have appointed for you will arrive at the right moment. For I am the one who holds the keys to every season and the one who writes each chapter of your life. When you think a door has closed, I am opening another path hidden behind the curtain of testing. You may not see today clearly, but I already see your entire journey to the very end. Every turn you walk through is within my sight. Therefore, stop fearing that your life has gone off course. For I myself am the compass guiding you along a path no one can take from your hands. I desire you to prosper not only in material things, but in your soul. The blessing I give is not merely possessions, but the ability to live with an open heart, unchained by worry and fear. When you place faith above need, I will cause that need to be met in abundance. When you choose faithfulness over calculation, I will cause blessing to find you, so you do not have to chase it endlessly. My child, I have given you wisdom for your work, courage to rise, and faith to pass through what seems impossible. Do not doubt yourself, for I have planted in you the seed of success, a seed that will blossom when watered with faith and gratitude. Come to me with your whole heart, hiding nothing. I do not need eloquent prayers. I only need real tears, real breaths, clumsy words spoken with sincerity. Tell me what you fear, what you worry about, what you dare not say to anyone. For I am never far from you. No need of yours is too small for me to listen. When you open your heart, I will lay my hand upon it not to judge, but to heal. I know what you need before you speak, yet I still want to hear your voice. Because I love you, and because when you speak it out, your heart grows lighter, your faith grows stronger, and the darkness is pushed back. My child, I will never leave you behind. Do not let fear convince you that I have forgotten you. When you feel alone, that is when I am carrying you in my arms. When you think you have lost your way, that is when I am preparing a road that has never been opened before. Every sorrow, every trial carries a message of love, a way I teach you to see that true blessing is not found in how much you have, but in whom you belong to. I always want what is best for you. The best is not a life without wind, but a soul that knows how to find peace in the storm. When you grow stronger in the Spirit, you will realize that happiness is not when everything goes your way, but when you learn to place everything into my hands. Near me, you will find you no longer need to strain, to prove, to compare, for in my light, you are enough. You are loved. You are chosen. I call you my child not because you are perfect, but because you belong to me. A father never abandons the child he loves, and I will never leave you. I give you tomorrow's gift, a new chapter filled with peace, a joy not dependent on circumstances, and a faith steady as rock. That faith will help you stand upright when life's winds blow hard, and it will keep your heart from panic when everything around you collapses. When hardship comes, when worry knocks like a relentless visitor, stop. Do not rush to react. Breathe deeply and remember, I love you. That very sentence is the cord that rescues your soul from the abyss. I do not love you because you do everything right. I love you so you learn how to do what is right. I am not present because you are worthy. I am present so you may become worthy. Whenever you feel empty, let me fill you. Whenever you are weak, let me hold you up. You do not have to strive alone, for my love is your strength. Days may change. People may leave, but I do not change. My love does not fade like grass, nor wear out like the afternoon sun. It stands firm like the promise I once spoke, though the mountains depart and the hills be removed. My steadfast love shall not depart from you. Each morning, when you open your eyes, I write another promise on the pages of your life, a promise that I am still here, still holding your hand, still keeping you through 1,000 trials. My love for you today is not a beginning, but the continuation of ages past, and it will endure forever and ever. For I am the unchanging one, and you are the one I have chosen to love. Wherever you go, I go with you. When you stumble, I will still find you. No mistake is great enough to make me stop loving. No distance is far enough to keep me from coming. When you fall, I bend down. When you are lost, I call your name. And each time you turn back, I smile. You have returned. I am still here. My grace and mercy are your portion, not a prize for the perfect, but a gift for those who know they need me. Receive them in faith. Do not count your faults. Count your blessings. Do not rehearse your wounds. Remember salvation. For when you live in gratitude, you open the door for peace to enter. That peace will steady your soul, like a river flowing gently between rocky banks. My beloved child, do not look at life through anxious eyes. Look through the gaze of faith. For I have promised, and my word never returns empty. You will see me turn tears into seeds, loss into wonder, fear into strength. One day, when you look back, you will smile and say, Lord, you have been so good, and I will answer, I have always been good. It is only today that you see it clearly. So, my child, rise up, believe, smile. Do not let darkness deceive you into thinking tomorrow will be worse than today. Your tomorrow has been written by me in the ink of love and light. You will not fail, for I have chosen you to overcome. You will not be left with loss, for I will replace it with something better. You will not be alone, for where you are, there I am. And whenever your heart grows weak, simply whisper, Lord, I trust you. Then I will draw near and speak to you with the gentleness of eternity, my child. I am here. My peace is within you, and nothing in this world can take that away. Now, as your heart grows quiet amid life's winds, I invite you to lift up your soul and offer me your petitions from the deepest place within, not with polished words, but with the sincerity of your heart. My beloved child, speak to me not as a stranger, but as a child returning into the arms of the Father. Lord, I come to you in the stillness of the morning, while the world is yet asleep. I know you see every fear I have never spoken, every tear I have wiped away in haste. Grant me a heart that dares to believe, even when my mind doubts. Give me strength not to collapse under what I cannot understand, for I know you are still at work in what seems silent. Teach me to trust your plan, even while it is not yet complete, so I may know that every step I take slow, weak, uncertain still lies within the path of your love for me. Father, there are days when my life feels like a small boat in violent waves. I want to believe, yet the waves keep rising. I want to rejoice, yet the winds of life keep striking down my young faith. Father, do not let me forget that you are the one holding my oar. Remind me that true joy is not found in a calm sea, but in knowing who is with me as I cross through. Though the storm may rise to the heavens, help me still be able to say, Father, I thank you, for I am still in you. Father, source of life, I thank you because every time I fall, you lift me up again. Thank you for never growing weary of hearing my complaints, never tiring of my stumblings. Thank you that even when I forget you, you still remember me. Not a single second of my life has been overlooked by you. Please receive my deepest gratitude. For you are still working miracles, not only in circumstances, but within my very soul. Merciful God, I thank you for the things I do not understand, for through them I learn trust. Thank you for weary days that taught me to pray, for losses that taught me to cherish what remains. Every trial becomes a teacher. Every sorrow becomes a seed of grace. Help me to live always in gratitude, knowing that your hand is writing a story far better than I could imagine. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.